In this video, I will show you how to file taxes on TurboTax. We will cover everything from account creation to filing your last year tax returns. I will also show you how you can file your taxes for completely free. So let's get started. First of all, let's start with your account creation. Either you can search for TurboTax in your browser or click the first link in the description below. Once you are on their website, click on Create an Account. Here, you need to enter your email, user ID, password, and phone number. You'll also need to verify your email address and phone number. After you sign into TurboTax and answering a bunch of questions, you will be on your main dashboard. You'll see a sidebar menu with all the essential sections of your tax return. From here, you can easily navigate to any part of your return. If you need to start over for any reason, you also have the option to clear and start over. If you want to check your current plan, click on Price Preview in the top right corner. Right now, I'm using TurboTax Premium, but if you want the free edition, I recommend starting over. To do this, simply click on Clear and Start Over. Then select Yes and Continue. Once you restart, make sure not to select any options that could upgrade you to a paid version. How comfortable do you feel doing your own taxes? Choose the first option and continue. As you can see, we are now on free edition of TurboTax. So how did you do your taxes last year? In my case, I filed my own taxes and continue. As you can see, we are now using TurboTax Free Edition. Anyways, we will start with personal information, like your name and date of birth. If you're unsure about your occupation, these are a few examples listed here. Let's say I'm a data scientist, so I will type that. Then click on Continue. Here you need to provide your social security number and click on Continue. Next, we're going to choose our state of residence. You need to carefully read through everything and choose the option that best matches your situation. If you are a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, if you are, then check mark it. If you have lived in another state the previous year, so if you lived in another state last year, you'll need to file a more complex multi-state tax return. Next, they're asking if another taxpayer can claim me as a dependent on their tax return. Another taxpayer, like a parent for example, can they claim you as a dependent on their tax return? This matters because it affects both your taxes and theirs. If no one is claiming you, move on to the next option, which is, I was considered legally blind as of December 31st. That's a tax deduction. Next, they're asking if you have passed away, because it's possible to file a tax return on behalf of someone who has passed away. If you want to change the language that the IRS uses to send you written communications, you can do so by check-marking this option. Next, if you're a non-resident alien or a dual-status alien spouse, your tax situation is different, and special rules apply. If this applies to you, you'll need to follow specific tax guidelines. If someone is incarcerated, it means they're in jail or prison. This can affect their tax filing, so the IRS needs to know. Select None of these apply if nothing applies to you and click Continue. Next question is, what was your marital status on December 31st? If you're in a registered domestic partnership, your tax filing options depend on your state's rules. If your spouse has passed away, your tax filing status may change. You might have different options based on when they passed away. Next is, do you have any dependents? If yes, choose Yes and select how many people you support. Then click on Continue. If you earned money in another state, you may need to file a multi-state tax return. This could include a job, rental income, or any other earnings. If this applies to you, select Yes. If not, choose No and Continue. There might be further questions if you have a dependent. So this is the summary of my personal information. We forget to add our mailing address, so let's do it quickly. So this is how your personal info should look like. Of course, there might be some more or less information, but let's click on Continue. After that, you will get this We just need your OK on a couple of things option, which you just need to sign with your name. And let's just continue with the free plan. Next, they are asking about your income. So click on Add My Income. Let's start with W-2. You're probably familiar with it. So click on Work on My W-2 and then Continue. Now, they're asking for your employer ID. Just look at your W-2 that you received from your company and fill out the information. Let's enter employer ID and click Continue. You have 3 options to add your W-2, upload it from your computer, scan it using your mobile device, or enter the details manually. I recommend using the automatic option, as it will scan your W-2 and pull all the information for you, making the process faster and easier. I'll go with the manual option. They are asking for employer's name. It will be located in box C. I will type this as an example. Next, type the address written under your company's name. If you have a control number on your form, type it here. Otherwise, let's continue. Now we need to provide income and taxes withheld. Again, look at your W-2. As an example, let's say it's $80,000 for the wages and $18,000 for federal income tax, Social Security wages and its total tax. Box 5, Medicare wages and tips, and the tax. Less common items. If you got something on your form, add it here too. Next, we have box 12A to 12D. And this is very important, so don't overlook it. Just check if any of these are on your form. Let's say, I have Roth contributions for $2,000, so I'll add it just like this. If you have more, make sure to list them here. Box 13, see what you got there. Box 14, if you don't have anything, just skip it. Next is state wages and state income taxes. So if you have worked with another company in some other state, you have to add another state option. Local taxes, I'll add them quickly and continue. Let's check for uncommon situations. So let's just say, if your W-2 was corrected, or if you have worked outside the US. If anything applies to you, it can even save you from tens to hundreds of dollars. So none of these apply to me, and continue. This is our W-2 summary, and if you had multiple jobs, don't forget to add each W-2 before moving on. Great, we are done with the W-2. If your source of income was just one job, you can skip the video to deductions and credits from timestamps. Just a quick heads up that we'll cover the most common tax situations like self-employment, unemployment, investments, and savings. I'll break everything down step by step. So even if your situation is a little different, you'll still get a clear idea of how it all works. Let's continue with self-employment. If you're a freelancer, contractor, or a business owner, you'll likely file Schedule C. This form reports your income and any business expenses you have. Now here's the catch. You can only file for free if you're filing with just a W-2. If your situation requires additional forms, TurboTax will prompt you to upgrade to Deluxe or Premium. For this video, we will continue with Deluxe. Let's say I work in e-commerce. As for subcategory, I'll select Clothing Retailer and continue. They are asking what's the situation of your self-employment? Let's say it's a side job. And continue. Tell us about how long you've worked in clothing retailers. First two options are obvious, but the third one, let's say you started in the previous year or even earlier, you can select this option. I didn't start or stop in 2024, and continue. Did you make these payments for your work? So if you did, you should select yes. Otherwise, select no and continue. Tell us if any of these less common situations apply to this work. None of these apply and continue. Recheck your info and scroll down, click on Looks Good. Now this part is important. Let me explain it with a relevant example. Let's say if you run an e-commerce store on Shopify, you might receive a 1099-K if your sales exceed the threshold. Your expenses could include product costs, packaging, shipping, and marketing ads. Overall, payment platforms like Fiverr, PayPal, Shopify, or Uber issue 1099-K only if you hit 20,000 plus and 200 plus transactions, but some states have lower thresholds. So this is where you need to pick the form that matches how you were paid. For example, 1099-K. Let's continue. Who issued the form? Let's say PayPal. Next, filer's federal ID number. Let's type it here. Box 1A. Let's go with $5,000 as an example. Federal income tax, $400. This amount in Box 1A is too high or includes some personal transactions. This means if the amount in Box 1A is entirely business-related, then you should leave it unchecked. If you discovered that part of that amount includes personal transactions not related to your business, then check Mark it and enter the amount that shouldn't be included. Let's say I received $200 from one of my friend, or anything that is not coming from your business. My 1099-K form has state information in boxes 6 to 8. Just like W-2, If you have something written in these boxes, make sure to add those details. View the filer and payer addresses. This option is just for your reference as it lets you view the addresses of the filer and payer. You don't need to check market, it's simply available if you want to verify the contact details. Let's continue further. So we have completed our 1099K form successfully. If you have more self-employed income for your business, you can choose yes, otherwise no, and continue. Do you have any expenses for your business like office rent, internet, in case of Uber, car expenses? So click on yes, and you're going to need to upgrade to premium in order to add your business expenses. I'll skip it, but you need to make sure to add all your details. We need to review some information, so let's review it and see what we missed. They are asking if your work took place in the United States or not. Yes, all or most of my work took place in the United States. And continue. This is about former employer. Imagine you used to work at a clothing store as an employee. Now you're doing similar work for them as a freelancer or independent contractor. In that case, you'd select that some or all of the work is for a former employer. Otherwise, select none. Next question is about deductions. Let's say you took out a small loan to buy racks or inventory for your clothing business, and you plan to claim the loan's interest somewhere else, not under your self-employed income. If that applies, select yes, otherwise select no, and continue. Next is, do you have another line of self-employed work in 2024? This question simply asks if you'll have more than one type of self-employed business or gig in 2024. For example, if you run a clothing store and also do freelance design work, you'd select yes, otherwise no, and continue. Next is investments and savings. So let's start it. Did you have investment income in 2024? Yes, we have income from these. Let's import your tax info. Here, I recommend to connect your financial account in which you have done buying and selling, as it will automatically pull out your data. I'll go with a manual option. Here, let me explain each one of them one by one. Let's start with interest. So it means interest that you earned from sources like savings accounts, CDs, or bonds. For example, you earned $50 in interest from your bank. Next is dividend. It means dividends paid to you from stocks or mutual funds. For example, you received $200 in dividends from your investment in Apple stock. 1099B means profits or losses from selling stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. For example, you bought Tesla stock for $500 and sold it for $800, so you report a $300 gain. Then we have cryptocurrency, same concept as 1099B. At last, we have 1099S. It used to report the sale or exchange of real estate. If you received a 1099S, you might need to report it on your tax return. Now that we know what each form is for, let's go over them in detail, starting with interest. We got 3 options. Bring it over from my bank, upload it from my computer, snap a photo with your phone. I'll choose manual option. Here, you need to look at your 1099 form and add all these details. Let's say I received it from Wells Fargo. Next, input the interest income from Box 1 and any interest on U.S. savings bonds or Treasury obligations from Box 3. If your form has additional boxes filled in, check the box below. Once everything looks good, click Continue to move forward. Here, you'll need to check if any of these uncommon situations apply to you. If you need to adjust your reported interest or if your state doesn't tax all of it, select the appropriate option. Otherwise, choose None of these apply and click Continue to proceed. Now, if you had interest from U.S. savings bonds or Treasury obligations, reported in Box 3, you need to confirm whether you cashed Series EE or I savings bonds. These are government-issued bonds that earn interest over time and can be redeemed when they reach maturity or before. If you've withdrawn money from these bonds or received a payout, select Yes. If you haven't redeemed any bonds, select No. Check your financial records or statements if you're unsure, then click Continue to proceed. Let's add another investment, and let's do dividends this time. Again, we got the same options, but I'll go manual. Now look at your form and fill out all the boxes one by one. And continue. Here, you need to check if any of these uncommon situations apply to your dividends. If part of your dividends comes from government-issued securities, select this option. If you need to correct your dividend amount, or received dividends through an employee stock ownership plan, check this box. Some qualified dividends require you to hold the stock for a certain period to receive favorable tax treatment. If this applies to you, select this option. Otherwise, continue. Let's add another investment, and let's discuss stocks and bonds this time. but we need to upgrade to Premium to file stocks. For this video, we're going to continue. You can watch this video if you want, I will be explaining anyways. So start with your bank or brokerage account name, and continue. Here, you need to confirm whether your sales include any employee stock. If you're unsure, check your tax documents or brokerage account for mentions of these stock types. Select Yes if you sold any of these, or No if your sales were from regular investments. Here, you need to indicate the number of sales reported on your 1099-B. This includes all transactions across different sections. If you had 3 or fewer sales, select No. If you had 4 or more, choose Yes. Here, you're asked whether your sales include other types of investments, such as land, collectibles, or other non-traditional assets. If your form includes these types of sales, select Yes. If you only sold stocks, bonds, or similar securities, choose No and continue. This question is asking whether you personally purchased every investment listed on your 1099-B. Here, you need to choose how to enter your sales from your 1099-B, one by one. Best if you only have a few sales and want to enter each transaction separately. Sales section totals. If you have multiple sales, you can enter them as a total instead of individual entries. Let's continue further. Here, you need to check your sales section on your form. I got this image as an example, but you need to look at your sales section. In this image, it's short-term transactions with covered tax lots. So I will select that from this menu. Short-term basis reported to IRS covered. Next, what type of investment did you sell? Stock in this example. Next, box 1A. Just look at your form and type that here. Then type in the date of purchase and date of sell, and enter the amount from box 1D and 1E. These two options allow you to correct missing or incorrect cost basis on your 1099-B or enter additional details from other boxes on the form. If unsure, you can check the help links for guidance, otherwise continue. Pretty straightforward situations. If anything applies, make sure to check market. Let's continue further. If you have another sale to report, make sure to add those here, otherwise continue. Let's add another investment, and this time we will cover crypto. Type it myself. Again, a guide video for your help. So here, you need to enter the name of the crypto service you used. Let's say I used crypto.com, so I'll choose it. Then enter EIN number and continue. Did you get the 1099-B form? If you don't, you can get it from their app or website. Do you have more than 3 sales? If unsure, click Help Me Identify Sales sections for guidance. Yes, I bought every investment listed on my form. It's asking if you acquired any of your cryptocurrency from a different source before selling it. Select Yes. If, for example, you bought Bitcoin on Coinbase but sold it on Gemini, this helps ensure accurate cost basis tracking for tax reporting. Then continue. We will again choose one by one and continue. Just like stocks, you need to look at your form and choose the right option. Then you need to enter the amount, how much, and what crypto you got, let's say 0.1 BTC. Then type in the date of purchase and date of sell, and enter the amount from box 1D and 1E, and continue. Let us know if any of these uncommon situations apply, such as paying sales expenses, having ordinary checked in box 2 of your 1099-B, or needing to correct the holding period. If none apply, select None of these apply and continue. If you have other sales, make sure to add them here. Otherwise, continue. Let's confirm these incomes and see what we have covered. We have discussed investment and savings, but we didn't cover unemployment. So let's do it. Did you receive unemployment or paid family leave benefits? Yes, I did. Where did you get your benefits from? Let's say I got your 1099-G. Did you have to repay unemployment benefits? If you repaid any benefits, it might impact your taxes, so answer accordingly. Next, choose how you like to upload your 1099-G. Enter the payer's federal ID number, written on your form, and continue. Then, enter the payer name and address written on your form, and continue. Enter your details, including unemployment compensation, tax withheld, and payer information. Leave blank fields empty if they don't apply. Enter your state and local tax details, including state identification number and withheld taxes. Leave blank if not applicable, and continue. Great, we have also covered unemployment. I think these are the most common situations, so let's continue further. No, I don't want expert help. Did you own or control a foreign bank account, trust, or financial asset in 2024? The IRS requires this question to determine if you have foreign financial interests that need reporting. No, I don't. Did you take a disaster distribution for a disaster that occurred in 2021 to 2023? If you withdrew from an IRA or pension due to a qualified disaster, you might get special tax treatment. These withdrawals can be split over 3 years and avoid early withdrawal penalties. No, I didn't. Continue. Time to find all those tax break. Yes, please. Continue with standard. Did you contribute to a traditional IRA or Roth IRA? Let's say I add $3,000 to my Roth IRA using Fidelity. This won't reduce my taxable income now, but my money will grow tax-free for retirement. Did you make payments on a student loan? No, I didn't. Did anyone in your family have college or university expenses? This includes tuition fees and books. If you had these expenses, you likely received Form 1099-T, which helps claim education-related tax benefits. Next question is, did you pay foreign taxes or have a foreign tax credit carryover? If you earned income from another country or invested in foreign assets, you might have paid taxes there. You could claim a foreign tax credit to avoid double taxation. Did you have medical expenses? If your medical expenses were high, you might be able to deduct some of them on your taxes. These can include doctor visits, prescriptions, and surgeries. Did you have any investment expenses? Some states allow you to deduct investment-related expenses, such as advisory fees, trading costs, or account management fees. Do you make any estimated tax payments? In my case, I didn't. Did you have an HSA? Select yes if you contributed to or withdrew funds from a health savings account, as it offers tax advantages for medical expenses. And continue. Let's check if the IRS will require you to enter any health insurance info. Answer this to your best knowledge and continue. Done with my tax breaks. Do you want to enter your sales tax information? If you made significant purchases such as a car or home improvements, adding your sales tax information could increase your deductions. Great, I got qualified for business income deductions, so let's continue. All right, keep going then. Did you qualify for an investment credit recapture? An investment credit recapture happens when you must repay part of a previously claimed investment-related tax credit. If this applies to you, select yes. Otherwise, choose no. Did you hire a nanny or household employee? Did you want to apply your refund to next year's return? Applying your refund to next year's return means using it as a credit toward future taxes. This can help reduce what you owe when filing next year. Do you want to designate $3? Of course not. Did you apply for and receive an identity protection PIN for anyone on this return? An IP PIN is a 6-digit number assigned by the IRS to prevent identity theft and protect your tax return from fraudulent filings. Let's keep going. Let's confirm your SSN and date of birth. Make sure to double-check your details and then continue. Yes, check my info. Congrats on your $6,000 refund. Thank you so much. Now it will show you all summary of your taxes. And if you want your refund early, it will cost you some money, but let's continue. Confirm your Florida return. So some questions will be different for you, depends on your state. In short, you only need to if you own a business or rental property with assets in Florida. If not, you can skip it. Again, check my returns. I'm going to skip recap and continue. You crushed it this year. Thanks, and finish my returns. Let's review my order. Here, you can either pay with federal refund or with your credit card. After choosing your payment method, you need to scroll down and click on Confirm Payment, Pay with Federal Refund, and Continue. Click on Continue again. If you want your refund 5 days early, you need to connect your Credit Karma account. Otherwise, you have multiple options like bank account and direct deposit. Let's continue with direct deposit. As an example, here, you're going to need to enter all your bank details and then submit your returns. That's it. This is how you can file your taxes on TurboTax. Hope you got some value out of this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like. Take care. Bye.